Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Chicagoland Baseball Chronicles. And you know the business. If you woke up this morning, you are definitely winning because a lot of people did not wake up. We got a good one today, don't we, Bill?
Yeah, this is a big one right here, Bo. Legendary Chicago guy. Name rings out all over Chicago and nationally also. I think what's really been good about the podcast, we've been having guys who've been able to come onto the show and kind of set the record straight, tell
Absolutely.
their side of the story. Everything you see in the media is not always accurate. So guys have been
Right.
able to come onto the podcast and say, "Hey, this is what happened. This is what happened from my point of view." Our guest tonight wrote a book about it, The Gift and the Curse, and he also has his own podcast, The First Round Experience. And I just think we need to bring
Spring,
him on and get
spring
started.
them on.
Jeff Jackson, all world, Jeff Jackson.
Jeff Legend, as I call
Hey,
him.
what's
What's
up,
up, Jeff? Good after,
man?
good evening, Jeff Legend, my mellow. Yes, sir.
I
What's
appreciate that info, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
absolutely, man. Absolutely. I probably left a whole lot out, but we're going to get to that in the show, man. And what we always like to start out, man, is in the beginning. And I'm going to throw some names out at you. I want to throw some names out at you that you highlighted in The Gift and the Curse. And I want you to give us a few little why these names are important to you in your career. The first one is Pat McGee. The
Oh
second
man,
one is Joe Haley. The
absolutely.
third one is Lonnie Hampton. And of course, the fourth one is the Hall of Fame coach, Leroy Franklin. What do those four men fit to you in your life?
Man, to be honest, everything, bro. Without those guys, I wouldn't be who I was. I mean, each one of them play a special part of my life. Each of them have played a specific role, and to me, becoming the guy that I became. Jeff Jackson. Now, I'm gonna take you step by step. So,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
There you
first
go.
person,
Take it step by step. Start with number one.
yes, sir. And actually, bro, I'm gonna drop a lot of exclusives on here, bro. I do a lot of interviews, but sometimes I hold back a lot because, depending on the outlet, I don't feel like they worthy of. You understand what I'm saying? So, if they
Absolutely.
really want to know the story, I feel like they should read the book. But for you guys, this something different. This special. This like home for me, bro. So I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
drop a lot of exclusive on here, man. Stuff people never heard. You
Absolutely.
understand what I'm saying?
That's
Not
what we
only
want.
And not only is this home, but I got I'm talking about major respect for the both of you guys. You understand what I'm saying?
Thank
And
you.
Bill, I already know
Thank you.
Bill family, Bill big bro. I've been knowing Bill since I was 10. But
Thank you.
I digress. Let me get back to the story. So we're gonna start with Patrick McGee. Now,
Okay.
Patrick McGee is the first person to ever introduce me to the game of baseball. I didn't even know how to hold a baseball bat. You know what I'm saying? Like literally. I didn't know nothing about the game. Patrick McGee was the first guy when I moved to a new neighborhood, which is the Farmwood area. He was one of the first guys that I met, and he immediately took me under his wing, took me under his tutelage, sorry, and began to teach me the game of baseball. Now he did this for a few years, right? I would say maybe from 7, 8, 9, but I'd say for 3 years. He like took me, his little brother, and a few other little guys in the hood, took us under his wing, and he taught us the game. And so that's why Patrick McGee is so important, in my story. Now, fast forward, like I said, for about 3 years, he worked with us, me and his little brother, Lonzo, every day. And when I was 10, I guess he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, and he thought I was ready for the show. And the show being infamous Haley Dodgers. You know what I'm saying? If you played for the Haley
Absolutely.
Dodgers back in the day, you was a baller. Mr. Haley didn't, he didn't have like really, as he would say, busters, on his team. So at 10, I wasn't even actually old enough to be on Mr. Haley team because the team age limit was 11 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever reason, Pat thought I was ready. He took me, his brother, a couple other little homies out the neighborhood, took us up to Mr. Haley a day before parade day. Like
Mm.
really right before the parade day, took us up there and they threw us on the field and we showed out for Mr. Haley. He immediately threw his
Wow.
uniform to be at the park the next day. So that's how I was able to, meet Mr. Haley, right? But at the same time, Mr. Haley was like father figure that I didn't have growing up. Eventually, I had a stepfather. Don't get it wrong. I did have a stepfather. I had a father figure in my house, but Mr. Haley was that guy that like really like molded me and showed me, because Mr. Haley, I had the type of, and I would say this about Mr. Haley. He didn't do this for everybody. You had to be a special kid, and he showed love to everybody. He showed love to all the kids, but when you were special, Mr. Haley took a special interest in you. And I mean by this, like Mr. Haley would make sure I got home. He would literally drive me home. He would feed me. He would come pick me up. He would take me to other events, like he would take me to basketball. That's when I first saw Ben Wilson. I didn't know who Ben Wilson was. Mr. Haley took me to my first. I was a kid. I didn't even know what I was watching at the time. I didn't know I was watching greatness. But Mr. Haley, when he found a kid that he liked, he would keep you close to him and make sure. And I think he did this because he was trying to keep us out of trouble as well. You understand what I'm saying? Because I came from a neighborhood that wasn't it wasn't the best and it wasn't the worst. But we could find some trouble to get into if we wanted to. And that kept us out of that. You understand what I'm saying? And so talked about Pat, being the person who actually introduced me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, me to Mr. Haley, who gave me I think that father figure and like the confidence and everything that I needed to be great. You know what I'm saying? And so from there, after playing with Mr. Haley for like 3 years, because I played from 10 to 12. Then after that, I grew out of the league. I grew out of his of his team.
Now hold up, Jeff. In that journey of playing with Mr. Haley now.
Yeah.
Like I said, I watched you. And a lot of people don't know you were pitching. And you also went to the Little League World Series, correct?
Oh yeah. Now that's the highlight. Yeah, I can't skip over that because, like I said, that was that was like go back to Mr. Haley. That was him.
You went to 2 World Series, if I'm correct. You went to 2 World Series.
Yeah, right? Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. And I want to shout out Noonie Norris Squirrels because he was like me and him was the only 2 players, and I think Jackie Robinson history to play in 2 different World Series. So I definitely want to shout out Noon for that. I don't want to take the credit all by myself, but absolutely. Yeah, man. Yeah, playing on that Little League World Series, man. That was an experience of a lifetime right there because I think that was preparing me for what was to come later in the future, which the first round and all that. Because when we went to the Little League World Series, we were literally treated like major leaguers out there. I mean, they was treating us like we were like all-star. I mean, we technically and literally were all-stars, but I'm talking about on a major level, like on a major league level, where we had fans. We had I signed my first autograph at 11 years old. You understand what I'm saying? And so
this is 1983, Bo. This is 1983.
Absolutely. I knew exactly when it was.
Yeah, 11 years old, I signed my first autograph, and just playing on that team with those group of guys, it was a great experience. Like I said, I learned a lot from that experience. I learned a lot from Mr. Haley and also Mr. Tom Hammond. Now, fast forward, we go on to Hemp now because now Hemp, I started playing with Hemp when I was 13. Like I said, I kind of aged out of Mr. Haley's team because I was from 10 to 12. It was from 11 to 12, but I actually played from 10 to 12. So now at 13, Coach Hemp, I actually think it's his first year in the league at Jackie Robinson. He come up there, he put a team together, and he started grabbing all us from the 12-yard because actually we almost went back to the World Series back to back when I was 11 and 12. We actually lost the finals. I don't know if you remember. I ain't gonna say I know. I know you remember that, Bill.
Up in Wisconsin.
Yeah, absolutely, Wisconsin. So we almost went back to back, but we ended up losing. So when when Coach Frank came into the league, he grabbed all those players off that team, and so that was the team that went to the actual 13-year World Series. So Hemp actually inherited that team, put us together, put his magic and his sauce on it, and took us to the Junior League World Series, right? And with Hemp, man, that was one of the best coaches I had because Hemp actually taught me a lot of stuff, man. Hemp don't get a lot of credit. Hemp is a hands-on coach.
Absolutely.
And his methods is so crazy, but he actually really teaching you some real stuff. He'll probably be like,
Absolutely.
Stab, take 3 steps, hold your hand out like you're doing this, like you're making a sandwich. He'll say some crazy stuff, but when it translates to actually doing it, it makes sense and it makes you better. You understand what I'm saying? So I would attribute Coach Hamp to like really make it like really like honing in on my skills and really putting that confidence in me, making me feel like I was like the guy.
Absolutely.
Hamp put that
Absolutely.
confidence.
Yeah.
That's Lonnie Hampton. That's why he over my
Yeah.
head right now.
Absolutely. Hamp how you think you're the best player in the world, right? And so that's what Hamp did for me. And with just Frank, you know, Frank gave me the opportunity. You know, when I came to Simeon, you know, obviously I played for Coach Hamp my freshman year, but then I quickly and actually my freshman year we ended up losing the city. I think we made it to the city championship, or almost we made it one game away, and we ended up losing. But for some reason, Coach Franklin took a liking to me my freshman year, and he had me on the bench. After our freshman season was over, he had me sitting on the bench with the varsity team. I think because they were still playing. I think they was in the playoffs at the time. And I sat on the bench, you know, as a freshman with those guys, and I got to watch them because the next year I was going to varsity. So my sophomore year, I went to varsity, and you know, I pitched my whole sophomore year. I didn't even play a position. I was just strictly a pitcher.
A lot of people didn't know that. You had some gas too.
Absolutely. Like I said, I thought I was going to be you know, I really honed my game after Dwight Gooden, you know, because back at the time, that's when Dr. K, Dwight Gooden was the man.
That's when I saw you playing with Hamp. I saw you pitching.
Yeah.
And I saw you pitch.
Yes, sir. I wanted to be Dwight Gooden, bro. I wanted to be Dwight Gooden. And so what happened was, you know, our junior year rolled around after playing my sophomore year, pitched the whole season. My junior year rolled around, and you know, we kind of like reestablishing the team because we had a lot of good guys that left. So you know, Frank asked, he's like, "Who want to play outfield?" And I, you know, by me always playing a position all my life and pitching, I was like, "Yo, I want to play outfield and pitch because I'm gonna tell you, I like to be in action. You know, I can't just sit on the bench for 9 minutes." So I raised my hand, and coach was like, "Yeah," and I said, "Yeah, coach, I want to play the outfield." You know how coach is. Well, you can't play the outfield, man. Just stick to pitching. That kind of blew me off. I said, "No, coach, I'm serious. I want to play outfield." So all right, he threw me out there, and he gave me an opportunity. That's why I say coach gave me that opportunity. And once he put me out there, bro, it was a wrap. You know,
that was it.
Yeah.
I saw you hit some moon shots. I saw you hit some moon shots back there, young man. I sure
appreciate
did.
that, brother. Let me interject real quick. There's one more person that really played another important role in my life that I can't leave out, and that's Johnny Burchett. You know, Billy Haley, very familiar with Johnny Burchett, man. And the reason I say that because when I was 10 years old, like I said, I played on Mr. Haley team as a 10-year-old. And to be honest, I was so good that they wanted to put me on the All-Star team that year as a 10-year-old. But obviously I was too young, you know, and then, you know, plus I had my 11 and 12. But since I didn't play on the All-Star team at 10, Coach Johnny Burchett, he was the All-Star coach of the minor league All-Star that year when I was 10. So with him, you know, and I was pissed. I was mad. I didn't want to play because I played with the 11 and 12-year-olds the whole season. So I wanted to be with those guys. I didn't want to play with these guys. I thought they was younger. You know, even though they were my age, I was playing on a higher bracket than them. So I looked at them as little guys, even though they were my age. So I didn't want to play. But Coach Johnny Burchett, he kind of persuaded me to play. And, you know, he came and picked me up every day, dropped me off because I was, you know, being rebellious. I wasn't showing up. You know, I wouldn't show up at the game. He'd call me, "What you doing?" I was like, "I'm asleep." He'd be right on my house in 5-10 minutes. I didn't stay too far from the park. Come pick me up, make sure I got to the park, drop me off. So without him doing that, you know, I don't want to say I wouldn't have continued playing, but I appreciate him for doing that. And that's something I never forgot. So I wanted to just shout out.
Absolutely. Shout out to Coach Burkett.
Yes.
Good stuff.
So things now really started to get interesting in your senior year over at Simeon. When the season started, you're not really on the scouts' radar. It's as crazy as that seems. So check this out, Bo. When the season starts, his senior year, he's not on the scouts' radar. When the season ends, he's the National Gatorade Player of the Year. That's just how quickly things are changing for Jeff. So scouts are coming out. They're coming out to see a couple teammates, but then Jeff takes advantage of that opportunity and he shines in front of the scouts. So kind of just walk us through that senior year, because this is where things really start cooking for you.
Yeah, this is all right. Set.
And this is why I'm finna drop the exclusives right here.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that kind of like is because the way you said that, it sounds crazy, right? It sounds mind blowing how you go from not being on the scouts radar, now you're the number one player in the nation. And
in 3 months.
to answer that, yeah, and within that short of time. And to answer that question, bro, that wasn't nothing but an act of God, right? And it was an act of God because I literally prayed for it and asked for it. Literally every night I would pray. And I didn't ask for the first round. I used to pray every night, Lord, let me get drafted. Let me get drafted. Next thing you know, things just started happening, right? But the thing is, let me walk it back a little bit because, like you said, I want to tell the story how it went for me. So, every year, they put out the top 100 prospects in the city, prior to the season starting. And I had, I've been on varsity since my sophomore year. Had a good sophomore year pitching. Pitched my junior year, and I had a good sophomore year offensively, actually playing. My junior year actually playing, I had a good year as well. So my senior year, I'm like, shit, I know I'm on this list. I know I'm at least in the top 100. I'm assuming
top 100.
Top 100, right? And so I go get the paper, and I look at the paper. They got all these other players, and they got Jason Robertson, a big spread on him, color photo. Jason Zimbow. They talking about all these suburban schools, Naperville, all that type of stuff. These are all the top players. And of course, they had Brian Street. They had I think he was the only player from our team. Had a few other people from the city. Didn't really have too many. They had a lot of suburban guys on the list. I would say didn't have city guys. I think, like I said, Brian Street was kind of one of the only ones from the public league that I could really remember. So when I saw my name went on there, I took offense to it. I was pissed. I was like, how can I not be in the top 100 players? You know what I'm saying? From that point on, that's what lit the fire under me. So what happened from that point, we used to work out in the wintertime, right? And, down in the boiler room. I don't know if y'all doing that. I'm not sure if y'all was doing that when you was there, Bo.
Absolutely. That's where it all started, down in the basement in the boiler room where it was already 100 degrees, buddy.
Absolutely.
Asbestos and everything.
Asbestos and all, absolutely. So we would be in the boiler room working out. And funny enough, Wes would come and work out with us some time, right?
Okay.
Wes Chambers. Yes, sir. Big bro. Yeah. And Wes would push me. I don't know what it was, but Wes would always pick on me, because I think they used to call Wes Chili World, right? Back in the day, if I ain't mistaken. Yeah. And I was called All World. So Wes, for some reason, he used to just pick with me, and it was out of love. It wasn't, he was hating or nothing, because at the time I wasn't nobody. He was the man. Wes was already AA with the Pirates and stuff like that. He would always pick on me and push me. Like we would do sprints. He would race me in the sprints. You ain't all world. You ain't this. You ain't as good as you are. And I would get pissed, and I would try to show him. So every time we would do sprints, I was, try to, out race him or beat him in the sprints. If coach told us to do whatever, if coach told us to do 3 laps, I would do 4 laps. I was just doing. I wanted to outwork everybody, right? And so what happened was, worked out real hard in the wintertime, down in the boiler room, like I said, continued my work ethic, started working hard. And then when the season started, what happened was, like I said, Brian Street was already a prospect. He was already on the list. So Brian had all the scouts already checking for him. So what happened was, I think we was playing Brother Rice, and they had maybe 3 or 4 prospects on their team. And it was about 5 scouts out there that game, that particular game. And I ended up snapping, having a real good game. I think I went 4 for 5, hit a jack or something like that. Mm-hmm. And
what was y'all playing at? What was y'all playing, on their field or behind Simeon?
No, we was on their field because they had a home run fence and all that grass. I tell you what, whenever we played a team with a real field, Like a grass in a home run game. Oh, we went crazy. That was like playing in the Chicago Stadium. I mean, like playing the Comiskey or Wrigley. We went to go play teams like that. So I always had a good game. So check it out, Bo. What happened was this. So like I said, I had a good game. I snapped. I'm heading back to the car. We all packing up heading to the car. It's an old man. I would say he probably in his 70s. And he's sitting in a lawn chair. And I had saw him before the game, but I'm thinking, hell, he probably somebody's grandfather. You know, I'm thinking, he's too old to be a scout. He probably somebody's grandfather. He just somebody out here that love baseball and actually just taking in the game. So after the game was over, I head back to the car. As I'm heading back to the car, the old man calls me over. So I go over to him and I say, hey, how you doing? And he's like, yeah, I like the way you played, yada, yada. I say, okay, I appreciate it. And so this one he reveals to me, he said, I'm a scout from the Tigers. And I said, oh, okay, now I perk up. Yeah, it really got my attention. And, he hands me back then they used to give you these like little tests to take, like psychology tests like that you were taking, right? You would fill it out and all this type of stuff. And so he gave me one of the tests and he told me he was going to enter, he said, I'm enter your name in the draft. At the time, I'm thinking like, this old man, he ain't going to enter me in the draft. I'm not even really believing what he's saying. And I would say literally the next day, we had practice behind the school and about 10 scouts showed up. And I'm like, damn, we got scouts at practice. Yeah, before that, we never had scouts at practice. So after I talked to the old man, he tells me he's going to put me on his list or whatever. Next thing you know, 10 scouts show up. And they now they started asking about me because when the scouts would show up at first, they would ask about Brian only. So now when when they show up to practice, they looking at they checking for me. I'm like, wow. So as time going, well, I would say maybe a day or two we have a game. Now it's like 20 scouts at the game.
You said a couple of games, a day or two, huh?
Yeah. And once I saw the scouts out there, I was like, yo, these scouts out here. So when I saw the scouts, I'm about to go crazy. And so, but here's the funny part. That old man, I never saw him again, never heard from him again. Nothing, kind of like he just disappeared and vanished out of my life, bro. So this gonna sound crazy, but like I said, I was praying and asking God for this, right? I think that man was an angel, bro. It come to me, I can't see him for the angel. Because he was the one kicked it off. He was the one that like entered my name and showed the first interest in me. And after that, it just blew up from there. And like I said, I prayed for it every night. And like I said, I don't see no other reason why I should have got drafted that high when I wasn't even a prospect in the beginning. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Crazy, bro, but that's really what I believe.
Mm-hmm. So you never encountered that gentleman again?
Never saw him again.
Never. I tried to look him up on the internet, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let's kind of keep going with the timeline because things are really starting to pick up now.
Right.
Yeah.
Hold on, Bill. Hold on, Bill.
Okay.
During that time, I'm gonna let you know you weren't on the scouts radar, but in Chicago you was on the radar because you had a coach named Kenny Smith that played ball in the Afro Leagues, and we were trying to get you to play some summer ball with us. Like what we did back in the day, like what Weston did. You still could have played amateur ball, but you play them 5 games, so you'll be eligible. Then you come and kick it off playing with some grown men because we knew you was finna get drafted. We knew Brian, all them. We wanted that to happen, but back then, I'm gonna tell you, Franklin didn't want to do it. They stopped that, and I personally, I want you to continue this story, but I want to tell people this shit. I think that personally kind of hindered baseball players getting drafted from here and going there without seeing grown man stuff before they leave. You understand what I'm saying? Play up, then go down. Play up, then go down. And Franklin wouldn't let you do it. He wouldn't let nobody do it. But that's what Twain them did. We had them scouts coming. Twain did it. Twain was playing high school ball, and he was playing with the ASCU Pirates. I was playing high school ball, and I was playing with the Pirates. I was playing with the Cardinals, different teams, And I hate that. But I just wanted to say that you was on our radar. We knew.
Okay. Oh, that's
he was on our radar. You was on Black Folk radar, brother. But
Yeah, I
go
appreciate
ahead. I
it.
just want to let you know that, and I want everybody out there to know that they got their kids out there now. Let your kids play up, because I think
Absolutely.
that would have helped. Well, go ahead, finish that one. I
So
wanted to let you know.
So you know Jeff goes by a lot of names. We know him as All World Jeff Jackson. You call him Jeff Legend,
I call
but at
him Jeff
Simeon
Fletcher.
they called him Cheese. They called him Cheese at Simeon. So one day,
Cheese.
right before yeah, they call him Cheese. So one day before practice, Coach Franklin comes to the guys and he tells the guys he has a special announcement, and he drops a bomb on the team about an honor that you've been nominated for. Look, give us a rundown about all that, because things are really starting to pick up for you.
Well, like I said, after I saw the scouts starting to show up at the practice, I knew I had a shot now, to give my prayer answer. I said, okay, like I said, I prayed for it. The scouts here. Now all I got to do is play ball. So I took advantage of it. I just started balling. I mean, just, and the funny thing is, I don't feel like I was doing an extra. This is how I always played. That's the crazy part. I don't think I like hit a switch and turned it up, and all of a sudden I've always been a steady ball player. Throughout my career, starting in Little League, I've always been steady. So, but what I did do that year, like I said, I worked a little harder. I did extra work, and so one day, like I said, I'm just playing, and regular season, we winning, we having some success. At this point, I'm not even all state. I'm not, none of those awards had came out yet. I don't even know where I'm. I don't even know where I'm ranked at this point. What I'm saying, I just know I'm having some success. So one day, we had practice, like a normal day. And before practice start, Coach Frank, he calls all in the huddle, in the circle. So I got some a special announcement,
Now you got to
to
do
make.
it
I
in the
got some
Coach Franklin
special
voice.
news I want to share with y'all.
You got to do it in the Coach Franklin voice. You got to do it in the Coach Franklin voice.
Let me see. Let me give you my best, Coach Frank. Fellas, come on, come y'all. I got something I want to tell y'all. He gave us one of those. And so we don't know what it is at this point, right? And so we all sitting around like, man, what Coach want, And so Coach like, geez, he get the, Coach, he get sometimes rubbing his hands, and when he messing with you, geez, I got some news for you. We all sitting around like, what? He's like, at this point, he said you nominated. He said you're nominated for the Gatorade Player of the Year award. I said, nominated for the Gatorade Player of the Year award. I said, what's that? He said, it's the Gatorade Player of the Year. They give out a Player of the Year award. I said, oh, okay. All right. And didn't think none of it, because I never heard of it, so I didn't know the magnitude of it. Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking like, oh, okay, I'm up for I'm nominated, because I hadn't won yet. He just told me I was nominated. And I guess the season go on the season goes on a month or two, and all of a sudden I'm sitting in class, like a regular day, and I get a call. Well, somebody at the time, I don't even know we are intercoms. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. It's been so long, but I know somebody came up to the room. Yeah, somebody came up to the room and got me. He said, Mr. Everett want to see Jeff Jackson in the office. So I said, okay,
Mr. Everett is the principal.
Mr. Everett is the assistant principal. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, he is the principal. I'm tripping. He is the principal. So I'm thinking like, damn, what I do? So I go down to the office to go see Mr. Everett, and he say, hey, Gatorade here. They're here to take a photo shoot. I'm like, huh? He said, they're here to do a photo shoot. And they walk me to the gym. I get in the gym. Mind you, we had a game that day, right? So I already have my uniform with me. And so they walks me over to the gym. I get to the gym. It's a full-blown production, photo shoot set up. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I walk in, and that's what they tell me. They're like, you the National Gatorade Player of the Year. I'm still not understanding what that means. I'm just thinking like, yeah, that's dope. I'm Player of the Year. But I'm thinking like a Gatorade? I'm kind of, because I wanted to like Suntime's Player of the Year. To me, that was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? I'm worried about Suntime. I don't about no Gatorade, bro. I'm going to keep it honest. I didn't know what it was. And, once I understood the magnitude of it, because like I said, I had a banquet. They did a press conference. They gave me all these awards. So come to find out, I was the number one player in the nation. That's what that represented. That award represented. The National Player of High School, you're the number one player in the nation. So yeah, that's how that happened for me. I didn't even know what it was. When they first told me, I really wasn't excited because, like I said, my if I wanted any player of the year, it was the Sun Time or the Tribune player of the year. But yeah, once I found out the magnitude of it, then I was like, man, that's crazy. Yeah,
things are really happening fast for you, kid. Really happening fast.
real fast.
So now we're
Real.
coming up toward the draft now after the season's over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you get selected by the Philadelphia Phillies. The first pick, the fourth pick, right? The
Right.
fourth pick. Number one for Philly, fourth pick. How did that come about? How did that affect you? How was that? Talk about that.
When it happened, it was just like, wow, it was a relief. It was like, it was kind of like a dream. Obviously, it was a dream. It was more than a dream come true. Because, like I said, when I was praying to God, I was just praying to be drafted. I didn't care if I went in the 50th round. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted the opportunity to play pro ball because I wanted to be like guys that I saw, like Wes, Darryl Robinson. At the time, those are the two guys that I knew personally that had been drafted. I've heard of others like Spunk, Ingram, Tony Howard. I didn't know those guys at the time. So
Right.
When I got drafted, it was like a dream come true. It was like, man, this really happened. You understand what I'm saying? But it was short-lived. It was short-lived because, like I said, the way they handled the whole situation, looking back on it, I wish I could have did it different, but I'm happy that it went the way it went because it made me the person I am. But, to get back to the draft, man, it was pretty much a day where I stayed home from school because at this time I knew I was going to get drafted first round now because I didn't have the Phillies come to my house maybe a month prior to them drafting me, because they was coming, scoping out my house. They was coming and scoping out the neighborhood, kind of see what kind of environment I come from, and that's important. Man, I got so much game I want to give these kids, man. I'm going to get back to that.
Give it up.
Okay, so the reason, what happens is this, what happened with me, and I didn't know that then, but I know now. Like I said, I knew I was going first round because a month prior to them drafting me, they would come to my house for meetings. And if they would tell me they would come into my house for a 6 o'clock meeting, these people would pull up on my house at 5:30 and just sit out in the car and just scope the whole neighborhood and just watch what's going on. Now, the reason they were doing that, because when it came for them to negotiate with me, now if they just sat outside my house and saw that I came from a ratchet home or a messed up environment or whatever they could have picked up from staying out there scoping my house those 30 minutes, those 30 minutes of the time for those few months, that would have played a part of my negotiation. Now, if they just saw I came from a terrible background, a messed up hood, mom on crack this, they would have offered me $50,000 maybe. But so they got a chance to sit down and really scope out and see what's going on, what type of background. They saw me going in and out, type of friends I had, my mom going back and forth to work, step pops. So they knew when they came to me, they had to come correct. So that's what I'm saying about giving up the game. What happens when these scouts come check you out, you got to make sure your whole environment and your space is clean and up to par, because believe it or not, you don't know that they're going to use that when it comes to your negotiation and bargaining power. Yeah, so because they come to their house and see your house is dirty and it's just crazy environment, they're gonna feel like he'll take anything to get out of this.
They're gonna lowball you, huh?
Lowball the shit out you, absolutely. But if you can display the fact that you come from a good household, educated parents and stuff like that, then they got to come to you a little different. So I just wanted to drop that. But back to the draft. I know I'm talking a lot, but I want to give y'all as much as I can.
Oh, you doing good, brother. That's real.
Okay.
1 second. Jeff, how old are you at this time? How old are you?
Okay, I'm 17 at the draft. So, but mind you, I just turned 17. I'm only really 16.
Right? In January?
Yeah. Okay. January, absolutely. Had only been 17 for 6 months.
So you're the age of a junior in high school.
I wasn't even supposed to graduate in 89. I was supposed to graduate in 90, bro. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I graduated a year ahead. So what happened was, like I said, I stayed home from school and chilling in the pool, just doing what I do, just chilling. And I hear the phone ring and I go answer the phone. I get out the pool, I go answer the phone, and it's somebody on the other line, like a representative. I forget exactly who it is. And they just pretty much telling me, congratulations. You the first round pick for the 1989 Philadelphia Phillies. We'll be getting in contact with you shortly and stuff like that. I was like, cool, and just hung up the phone and went back to swimming. Now, mind you, nobody home. My mom at work. My mom and stepdad at work. I think at the time my little sister's living in Atlanta, so she's not even at home. And it's just me. I'm at the house with myself. So I get the call like nonchalantly because I'm very nonchalant and very humble. So a lot of stuff that if people think I would be excited about, I really don't be excited about. You know what I'm saying? So I got the call. I just hung up the phone and went back to swimming like it was no big deal. And then Mom's got home. I was like, "Yo, Mom, the Phillies called." She's like, "What they say?" I like, "They took me in the first round." She's like, "Oh, okay, baby, congratulations." And shit, she went about her day, you know, but she was happy and proud. And
Are you for real, ain't you?
So to kind of create a timeline, Jeff, the draft is June 4th. A couple weeks later is graduation. The day after graduation, what happens the day after graduation?
All right. And this is where I say I think if I could do it over again, I probably would have did it over. So literally the day after graduation, I jump on the plane and I head to Martinsville, Virginia to start, you know, my professional career. But unbeknownst to me, I see the thing is, you know, I was blowing up in Chicago, right? And I knew and I say this humbly, but I knew I was the man in Chicago because I mean, hell, I was in the paper every day. You know, I had to know, you know, literally, you know. So, but I'm thinking it's just some Chicago stuff. I didn't know that, you know, people knew who I was. I don't want to say around the world, but I didn't know I was known nationally. So now, after I graduate, I jump on the plane. I head to Martinsville to go play with the Phillies, with the Martinsville Phillies. And like, as soon as I get off the plane, like everybody know who I am at the airport. I got signs, you know, people waiting there to pick me up and all this type of stuff. I get down there, I get down there. I meet the team. Well, I didn't even meet the team. I met because when I got there, it was like 10 o'clock at night. Everybody had left for the day. I meet the trainer and I meet the manager. They pretty much set me up in my locker and tell me to show up the next day at 3 o'clock. And
here we go, Bo.
When Coach Frank tell you to show up at 3, that means shit, we pulling up at the park at 3. We pulling up. We just strolling up 3, maybe some of us 3:15, you know. But in pro ball, you know, nobody told me that 3 o'clock mean be on the field ready to go. So when he told me when the manager told me to be at the park the next day at 3, I pulls up at 3 on the dot in a cab, and I can see everybody in the field running around. I'm like thinking like, damn, why you tell me to be here at 3 o'clock and everybody here already? And I stroll down to the I get out the cab. Imagine when I get out the cab, I got reporters waiting on me. I got about 2 or 3 reporters and some cameras. And so I get out the cab and I'm heading to the field. Now everybody's on the field can see me, what's going on. It's like I'm the Pied Piper. I'm walking, I got my bag, I'm showing up for the first date. This is the first time my teammates laying eyes on me. So I'm showing up, I got all the press with me, you know, following me. And I'm thinking, I'm trying to brush them off. And I'm thinking like, hell, I'm late, you know? So, sorry about that. Somebody trying to text me. So, I shows up at the ballpark and the manager, he meets me at the gate. He's like, why you late? I said, man, you told me to be at 3 o'clock. It's like 3:05. He said, hey, in pro ball, 3 o'clock mean be on the field ready to go, not show up. And so I was like, oh, okay. And so that was a lesson I learned, and it stuck with me to this day. I'm early for everything. Now, I'm never late for anything. Just one lesson like that.
Right.
But what I was gonna say is what I think they should have did is they should have let me rest. They should let me rest for you know, at least a couple weeks. You know, give me 2 weeks. You know, or just let me rest the rest of the season, and then just send me the instructional league in off season. Because what happened, they didn't realize I was coming off this high. You know, everything I jumped on this train, it just like shot off. It just like literally shot off. I went from not being recognized as a top player in the city to now I'm the #1 player in the nation. And mind you, throughout the season, I'm getting all type of awards. I won every award it was to win. I'm all state, section, city, Chicago player of the year. I mean, Sun Times player of the year, the Tribune player of the year. I win. I I get my own day. I get my own day from the mayor and the governor. So it's like it's so much going on that I needed a break. But when instead of them giving me a break, they as soon as I graduate, they sent me to Martinsville. Never used the wooden bat. Yeah, never used the wooden bat in my life. So they put a wooden bat in my hand. I'm trying to get used to the wooden bat. I'm breaking them because I never used it. They didn't give me time to train with one. So that's why I said I think they should have put me in instructional league, teach me how to use the wood before they put me out there in front of an audience. So now I'm there for a week, just trying to get used to the wooden bat and just to pro ball period, just make the adjustment. Now they throws me out here in front of 5,000 people every night because I'm Jeff Jackson and everybody literally paying to come to see me because, like I said, they done blew me up so much that by the time I get there, the whole city know who I am. Like literally, I ain't trying to be funny. Tickets, when I got there, ticket sales literally went up because they wanted to see this kid from Chicago everybody was talking about.
The franchise player.
Franchise player. So me knowing that, guess what I do? I put pressure on myself. I never, from day one, I never got a chance to just relax and sit in the game and relax and find myself. I came down there not trying to make the adjustment, not knowing how to use a wooden bat. And mind you, I'm playing against my people 4, 5, 6 years older than me. On top of that, I'm 17, just turned 17. I'm playing with grown men.
That's what I thought.
Absolutely. So it was just a hell of an experience altogether, man, to be honest. I don't know if I answered your question. I threw a lot out there.
No, so what we're trying to do is kind of establish a timeline. January, you turn 17 in January. In June, 6 months later, you are number 4 pick in the draft and the franchise player for the Phillies. Just that's how quickly that adjustment came for you. Just like that. Yeah,
absolutely. It came like that. It seemed like you would say it's overnight success, but the only reason I wouldn't say that because all the years I put in prior.
Absolutely, because you played in all those, growing up, you played on a high level. I just like I said, I think that I know your story. I think that at some point when we get guys like during that era, you were at an era when I was still playing ball, and we had cats that had went there and came back. I just felt that you should have been playing with us a little bit before you went down there too, like everybody else. And they stopped that here in Chicago. It wasn't your fault. It's something that they stopped. Franklin, all of them, and Hamp was an advocate of that for sure. I know because I came up through a system, and that's just how we did it. And they got away from it. They got away from it. That was it. It just would have gave you that much more experience. But I know in your journey, I know that had to be a mental strain. How was that mentally for you going through that change? How was that for you?
It was messed up. Like I said, it was hard. It was hard, bro, because you gotta understand, I was a kid, and I'm still trying to figure out who I am. And it's hard to figure out who you are when you got everybody else telling you who you are. You understand what I'm saying? So every time I pick up the paper, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. And you start to believe that after a while, right? And then it comes to a point where you don't believe it. So it's kind of like it's how can I put it? It's what I hate to curse, but the only way I can express myself is kind of like a mental mind fuck. Because your whole life you this one person and you see yourself this way, and then all of a sudden everybody see you a different way, and you still trying to figure out why everybody treating you different and why everybody treating you like you so special when to you still the same person you always been. So from being regular to known, man, if you don't have a solid background, and see what kept me grounded was my family. Like I said, remember
mom's coming out.
Yeah, when I told my mom I got drafted, she's like, "Oh, okay, cool." She wasn't like tripping or started treating me different. My brothers and sisters, what? Man, they don't care about no Jeff Jackson. They love me as their brother, but they don't care about that baseball stuff. So by me coming from a family like that, that kept me grounded. So I never saw myself as nobody than just regular Jeff. And so when other people started treating me different and started showing me different, I guess just I don't want to say show. I guess showing me love, but you can tell when some love is fake love as opposed to genuine, right? Yeah,
So,
but go ahead.
So you mentioned moms who really played a key part in your development, certainly before the draft, and now when you're going through some tough times on the road, mom would pop up from time to time. How would that be for you when moms and your stepdad would show up at the games? What kind of response would you get?
Man, that would be like that was like I would be re-energized for the most part. You know, my mom was literally my good luck charm. May she rest in peace. That was my good luck charm, man. You know, she was the reason I played baseball, period. Even when I was little, Bill, even when I was a little kid, because what happened was I noticed when we went to the Little League World Series, how proud she was of me.
Yeah.
She was proud of me, right? And so once I saw how proud she was of me, I wanted to just keep that smile on my mom's face, So she was the reason I really played the game. And so what happened, whenever I would be struggling and in a slump of not doing so well and not feeling good, feeling homesick, she would show up, the slump immediately would go away.
I would get some home cooking.
Home cooking, she would down there and cook, she would talk to me. And it's been, literally, it was a time when she came down, I was in a slump. When she left, I was the player of the week. When that's how much an effect she had on me. It was like, whenever I saw her in the stands, it was like, it's like, man, mom's up there. I got to go crazy. It was just weird. It's like I could not. If my mother was in the stands, in my mind, I had to have a good game. I couldn't have a wasting of time coming out here just to watch me play. I feel like I had to do something spectacular. And that's what I did. Every time she came, 2-3 hits, bomb, game winning home run, stolen. I would just have some of my best games whenever I played in front of her. She was definitely my good luck charm.
Tell me this, Jeff. While you were down in the system, how was your instruction? Just coming through. How did they try to develop you? What was how was that like? What was that like? Talk about that.
Well, for me, I don't know if it's like this for everybody, but I'm gonna speak on my behalf, and I think my experience. I'm speaking from a different experience because I was a first rounder, right? And we all know first rounders, we get treated a little different, So for me,
absolutely,
the way the instructions came through, it was kind of overwhelming. And the reason I said that because by me being the first rounder, you got everybody throwing their opinion at you, because what happens is they want to take credit for your success if you do well. So I'm saying that to say that I would have the main hitting instructor working with me, right? And we working. He got me. I come out there an hour early. I may work with him. The next day, you may have the roving hitting instructor come down, which is a whole different guy. He may teach me something different than the other guy just taught me. And then you got the director of operation. It's like everybody coming down there teaching me something different. Where it's like, damn, bro, he told me this. He told me this. So I could never figure it out. And the reason, like I said, everybody was trying to put their 2 cents in because in case I got hot, they wanted to be like, oh, they wanted, because that's how they make their money. That's how they prove their worthiness. If you're a hitting coach and you want to attach yourself to somebody hitting, you don't want to attach somebody who ain't hitting the ball because that means that's your work. If he's not hitting, they're going to blame you, right? So what happens is, by me being the first rounder, the franchise player, they want everybody was throwing their instructions at me because they wanted to be the one to say, I taught them that. But they didn't know they was confusing me because I'm young. I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah, I got too many people telling me something different.
So one of the things, so you're getting a lot of instruction, a lot of things going on. You still always one of the youngest guys at whatever level you are. You one of the youngest guys out there. Another challenge you faced was the injury, shoulder injury. How did you deal with that injury? That was something new for you dealing with that type of injury. How did that affect your game?
To be honest, bro, I can't. Well, they didn't know. They didn't know. Okay, they knew my shoulder was sore, but they didn't know to what effect it was sore. You know, just because everybody showed to get sore, right? You know, everybody go get ice after the game. Everybody get a massage every now and then. Not just pitchers. I'm talking about position players too. You know, because it's a part of the game. You show to get sore. So I would go in there and play it off as just a regular sore shoulder, but they had no clue that I needed like major surgery on my shoulder. I opted out of getting surgery because they told me that if I got surgery, it wasn't guaranteed that my shoulder was going to come back the same. And plus, the surgery I needed was so bad that it was going to leave a big, huge scar on my arm, you know, on my shoulder. And I knew one day baseball was going to be over for me. So I was like, I'm not trying to walk around with a big ass zipper on my arm for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? So what I did, I called myself rehabbing to myself. I would, you know, do sports court work. But how I really maintained it, to be honest, bro, I was off drugs, bro. I was taking like 8 ibuprofen a game, and then I would take these substances, what we call greenies back in the day. Okay. Now, greenies was something that gave you like, it did 2 things. It numbed your pain and it gave you superhuman strength.
It's like a stimulant.
Yeah, it's like a stimulant. Yeah. So to be honest, I played probably the last out of my 9-year career. I probably played the last 6 of my years that way off ibuprofen and greenies. Cause I hurt my shoulder early in into, you know, you can't tell them, because if you tell them now, you are risking your career. You understand what I'm saying? So
you get labeled. Is that
label? Yeah, you get labeled. So, you know, everybody say damaged goods. So, you know, with pros, there's a lot of guys like that. You know, they try to hide the injuries to the best of their ability because they know once the injuries get found out, then they're gonna be labeled damaged goods. So it's just all about how much pain you can take. You know, how much you can tolerate. And like I said, I was able to tolerate. I was able to tolerate it because one, I wasn't a pitcher, so I didn't have to use my shoulder every play. You know, so my arm could be hanging off, but if I only had to make 4 throws a game, then I was good. I would just suck it up for those 4 throws. So
that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah, it is. And so now a lot of the surgeries, we make huge advances in surgeries. Tommy Johns, ACLs, guys are coming back within a year. You're talking about early 90s. The surgery is not as advanced as it is now. It's no guarantee it would even work. Right.
Yeah, that's what they told me. It's like at the time that you said, you're right. They said I needed Tommy John. Okay. And they were just telling me that, you know, you can get the surgery, but that doesn't mean your arm is going to work the same. And I was like, well, that's all I need to do. What's the point? You know, and I didn't want to take the chance. I didn't want to take that chance. So I just opted to take it. And I just finished my career, like I said, taking the ibuprofens and the greenies. And, you know, that seemed to work out, you know?
Yeah. So coming from Chicago, Fernwood Park, Southside Chicago. So Jackie Robinson, Simeon, Fernwood Park, Southside Chicago. A lot of your upbringing is really kind of like from an African American perspective. Everybody you're dealing with is African American. You're down here in Martinsville. So in Chicago, of course, we got mad love for you. But now you're on the road, you're dealing with these fans, and these people are getting out of pocket. They're coming to see you, and they're not always coming to see you succeed. How is that dealing with so you experienced the positive side of the press, the Gatorade Player of the Year, Sun-Times Tribune, everything local is positive. But now you're out here on these bus trips and you're in these minor league stadiums and everybody's not a fan of Jeff Jackson. How was that experience for you?
Well, like I said, it was hard because I was young. You know, I'm still trying to develop, I'm trying to figure out who I am. You know, I don't even know who I am at this point. Like I said, they're telling me I'm one person. I still feel this other person inside. So it was tough, man, because like I say, you know, Bill, you mentioned it, bro. My whole world and my experience was black. You know what I'm saying? And so, and we were taught coming up not to trust, you know, certain people. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so now I'm actually playing, living, everything. You know what I'm saying? So I got my guard up from day one when I get down here. I'm already got my guard up because how I've been raised. You understand what I'm saying? And so now when I get down here and I started seeing like the jealousy, you know, immediately I started to see it. You know, I started to see the jealousy immediately. and it's not coming
from other players on the team and stuff.
Yeah, from all my other, from my teammates, and obviously, they're, the majority of them, I would say, because I'm not gonna say we didn't have some brothers who felt some type of way, but the majority of the guys were, white guys. You understand what I'm saying? And so, like I said, I come down here already with this guard up, and so immediately, whenever I would see little things or people would, say little smart comments, I would lash out, because I'm, first of all, from the hood, second of all, I'm young and dumb, and I think you solve everything with your fist, So, it was times where players would say certain comments and try to get under my skin, and I would want to fight them. You know what I'm saying? I would get held back from certain teammates, and I would get talked to by the manager and stuff like that. There's been times where I went after fans, even where they said something and I didn't like it. I wanted to go after the fan. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you, bro. For a minute, I feel like I literally kind of went a little bit crazy because it was like when I used to go up to bat, right? And if anybody know anything about Philadelphia and Philadelphia fans, they're the worst. They don't care,
They gave Donovan McNabb the business.
Yeah, and they didn't even take in consideration that I was a baby. I was a kid. Because it's funny, because when I look at my own kids,
no mercy, no mercy,
no mercy, right? And so I would want to lash out. And so basically, to make a long story short, it was a tough transition, to say it nice. It was a tough transition. And it's like I said, I want to give y'all details and stuff, but I'm gonna leave something for the book. If people really want to know everything, because I'm giving y'all a lot.
Get the book. Absolutely.
The gift and the curse.
The gift and the curse.
Jeff, you mentioned about the instruction that they were giving you on the field. What kind of support did the Philly organization give you off the field, as far as you being a young guy out of your element? What kind of support did they give you off the field?
Absolutely none. and that's why I look back at it and say, wow, when I look at my own kid,
number one pick, and they didn't give you no support off the field.
Nothing. I mean, the only person my support was the big bros, Marvin Freeman. I was, you gotta understand, when I got down there, Free was with the Phillies at the time, right? So, absolutely. But Free was already in the show. Free was in the show. I'm 17. I'm hanging out with big leaguers, literally. You know what I'm saying? Off the field, Free would come to my neighborhood, pick me up. Come on, we're going for a ride. We end up at West House. I'm 17, hanging out with two big leaguers. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the Phillies, they didn't provide no support for me. Here's the crazy part. They took me as a 17-year-old and threw me out there like I was 24, 25, like I was a grown man, and expected me to conduct myself as an adult. And that's what I found weird. It's like I'm a kid. I'm literally a kid. And now I got the pressure. Not only that, you gotta understand, like I said, I have pressure on me because everybody know who I am in Chicago. So I got two cities. I always say I had two cities on my back. I had the city of Chicago on my back because obviously that's where I'm from. Everybody knew who I was, stuff like that. But then now I'm being drafted to this team in Philadelphia, who's expecting me to be the franchise player and the savior of their organization. So I had the city of Philadelphia and the city of Chicago on my back at 17 years old. That was pressure just off the rip. But
somebody's handing you a wooden bat for the first time in your life.
Handed me a wooden bat for the first time. Gave me a week to get used to it.
And you got an entourage behind you every day.
Basically, the fans, and like I say, you got some coaches that even get jealous of players. You know what I'm saying? So, I had coaches who would talk to me crazy. It was all type of stuff, that I had to deal with that people wouldn't understand. It's like this. You do get treated special when you're the first rounder, but you also get a lot of hate. You got a target on your back because you're the first rounder too, because everybody wants your position. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be the first rounder, and everybody want to try to compare their playing ability to yours. So, for example, if I'm on a team and I'm playing outfield, obviously, The other outfielders, they want to outplay me. They want to go, if I went 1 for 3, they want to go 3 for 4. They want to be like, I outplayed Jeff. I should have been the first rounder. So they want, it's kind of like, they try to get their stripes off outdoing you when you're the man. You understand? That's almost like somebody saying, I scored 40 in Jordan, I dunked on him. You understand what I'm saying? So when you got somebody saying, wow, I played Jeff, I did this, that's making them look great because everybody know where I stand. They already know I play at a high level. So if somebody say they outplayed me or was better than me that day, that makes them look that much more better than probably what they are.
Mm-hmm. So you with the Phillies organization, do you think that they moved you along like sort of different levels, rookie ball, A-ball? Do you think you were moved along at the proper times and given the proper opportunities to move along while you were with the Phillies?
No. And here's why. See, here's the thing, man. And this is the crazy part. Like I said, I'm giving y'all a drop of pieces. The reason I had so much pressure on me from the giddy up is because they put all this hype around me about being a franchise guy, being, being in the show, right? So my thing is, when I got down there, I thought I was just literally going in for a tune-up, and I thought I was going to the big leagues at 17. I thought I was just going down there to get a tune-up and in the show. So what happened was, when I get down here,
process, right?
I didn't know the process. I thought I was going straight to the show, if I'll be honest with you. So when I get down here, and I'm trying to get acclimated, and now, mind you, I do at some point get acclimated to the wooden bat, and I'm starting to do decent, right? So I'm thinking like, okay, I'm doing decent now. What's taking so long? What are we doing? Why I'm not in the big leagues yet? So what happened was, I was putting pressure on myself because I was thinking like, I have to hit a home run every game. I think I'm out to steal so many bases because I got all these people coming out seeing me. So I put more pressure on myself than I had to. So when I started putting pressure on myself, obviously, when you're playing with pressure, you can't produce as well. And so that's what happened with that. But what happened, what I think what Bill is talking about, is in spring training, what happened was they would put me on a certain team for the whole spring. I would probably be in like high A ball the whole spring training. I'll be balling out. Now, when it's time to break camp, they'll send me back down to low ball. So when they send me back down to low ball, I go down there immediately with attitude. I go down there, I'm like, what the fuck, man? I just balled out in Clearwater. Why are y'all sending me down the spot?
Clearwater's high.
Clearwater's high, yeah. Absolutely. So that's what they were doing. That's what they were doing every spring. In springtime, they would put me on a higher team when it's time to break, and I would play there the whole spring. It's time to break camp. You guys send me down a lower level. So now I'm going into the damn season with an attitude already. Don't care. Because I'm thinking like, man, why would y'all send me down here? Y'all know I'm trying to get to the big leagues. These people waiting to see me. So, and I'm the type of player, I wore my feelings on my sleeve. If I'm mad, you're going to know I'm mad. I'm actually going to play like I'm mad. I'm not going to even try to fake like I'm not. I'm going to walk on the field. I'm going to take half-ass swings at the plate. And that's what I did a lot of the times. A lot of my numbers you see, if I'm being honest with y'all, it was just me going through the motions because I was so frustrated with the organization, how they was playing me, that my only way was getting back was saying, fuck it, I'm not going to produce then. Not knowing that's fucking up my numbers. I didn't think like that. I was so immature and stupid that I'm thinking that maybe if I go over 4, they'll take me out the game. But no, they'll keep me right back because what happened was sometimes I would go to the yard literally tired and ask for a day off. Because I would play like 70 games straight. I'm a starting center field. I'm the first round. Of course, I'm gonna play a lot, but it comes a time when you get tired, your body's sore. So I would come in and say, hey, man, let me get Sunday off. Because those are the days you're gonna get off. If you get off any game, you're gonna get off a Sunday. Because that's a day game, it's hot, you're playing in the sun. Usually that's when people get day off days. So I would come in and be like, yo, let me get the day off. They'd be like, nah, you gotta play. And I'm thinking like, damn, I'm tired. I would tell them. Most people crying to get in the lineup. I'm crying to get out the lineup just to get a mental day because I'm under so much stress and pressure that I'm putting on myself from the fans. And they wouldn't take me out. So if they wouldn't take me out that game, I'd be like, all right, y'all not gonna let me get the deal. All right, bet. So I would literally go out there, take 3 down the middle, just swinging shit in the dirt and all that, hoping they would take me out the game, thinking they'd be like, oh, he got attitude, let's take him out. They would just sit me out there, let me play the whole 9 with the attitude, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with adversity on the field. You're dealing with the injury. And so now, so you're a young man. You got things going on off the field. So kind of bring us up to speed about where you are. So I'm thinking right now you're about 23, 24. Time is kind of winding down with the Phillies, right? And where are you off the field? What kind of young man are you off the field? What's going on? I know you have your. Is this your daughter that's about that time comes into play?
No. At the time, my daughter wasn't born yet. I got
Okay,
my son.
okay, Jeff Jr.
Yeah, Jeff Jr. Yep.
Okay.
To be honest with you, big bro, like I said, I'm gonna give it up to you. Like I said, it's in the book too. They can go read it. Man, in the off season, man, I was a party boy. And the reason why I would tell you that, because it's a reason. It's always a method to my madness or a reason for why I did anything. And like I said, the reason I was a party boy because, like I said, during the season, man, I was under so much stress and pressure that when the off season came, I didn't even think about no baseball. I wanted to just relax and have fun.
Need a break.
So
Need a break.
I needed a break. Yeah. So that was my break and me having fun. So during that period, I just traveled a lot. I was always in out of because I had some family down there. Drank a lot. I started getting into marijuana. Shouldn't have, but I started smoking weed because, like I said, I was stressed out. Feel like I needed something to take the pain away. And so my off season would just be partying, man, chasing women, drinking, smoking. If I'm being honest.
Just relaxing, just mentally getting a mental break from that grind.
That was a big strain for you.
Yes, yes.
That was a big strain.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't look at the mental aspect of what you went through and the whole process of it,
Yeah, that's why I wrote the book, bro. Because when people tell my story, they try to tell it from a point of view that I was a buster, that I couldn't play. And I'm like, bro, you don't get to be the fourth pick in the drive being a buster. You understand what I'm saying?
There's a lot behind that, and we don't want to give it up too much. We want them to read your book and plug your book, man. Right now, how can they get it?
Man, for anybody out there looking, first of all, the name of the book is called The Jeff Jackson Story, The Gift and the Curse, man. And where I tell pretty much, I talk about, it's strictly based off my baseball career. I didn't really go a lot of my personal life unless it was pertaining to baseball. I kind of like wanted to stay on the track and tell people about my career and the ups and downs and stuff that I've been through. And hopefully that they can read and learn from my mistakes. It's kind of like an education book as well, because I didn't have to put my business out there. I could have just, stayed in the cut and chilled and kept and licked my wounds or whatever, and and just been cool with that. But the reason I wrote the book is because I got tired of people trying to create a narrative for me and try to tell me what I'm thinking and what they think about my career. It's like, bro, you have no clue. A lot of y'all probably couldn't walk a mile in my shoes. And on the other hand, if a lot of guys got to know me, you would actually like me. You would think I was a cool guy. So I just wanted to just tell my side of the story and put it all out there just so that I can, first of all, you can hear it from the horse's mouth and not from reporters and other people with their opinions, and also to educate, because I think my story is more than just baseball. I think any athlete, can kind of benefit from, the stuff that I put in my book, of my experience and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
They can find the book if they want to buy it. It's on Amazon. I prefer that they come to the JeffJacksonStory.com, and that's the JeffJacksonStory.com. Because on my website you can cop some merch too. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's what we're talking about. I'm just glad to have you on the show because you are definitely a Chicago baseball legend. Don't get it twisted. You legendary, dude.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
For real. I saw you play, young man. I saw you. I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing that with me and Bill. And hey, man, it's just gratitude. A number of respect for you, brother. Real talk.
Oh man, I appreciate it. Like I say, man, hey, I've been looking forward, man. I've been watching a few shows. Like I said, I saw Flesh Show, and I said, man, if they don't get me on this show, Man, it's gonna be a problem. I said it's gonna be
Oh
a
no,
problem to
we
be on
go,
here,
we
man.
go, we gonna get everybody we can, man.
I was
Hey,
gonna,
we
I was gonna reach
wait.
out to y'all eventually. I was giving y'all some time, man, but once I saw
Work
the
the kinks
baseball,
out.
yeah, if I ain't a part of that, man, we're gonna have a problem. I was gonna reach out. I'm glad y'all finally hit
Like I
me up,
said,
brother.
we ain't even got West yet, man. So, man, number gratitude, brother. Hey,
Yes, sir.
we gonna close out the show, Bill. And we, like I said, we appreciate you. Stay tuned for it. We'll break you off. Hey, y'all, thanks for watching the show. And once again, if you woke, you winning, baby. Peace, Bill.
Peace, y'all.
All right.